Hi there. I read your paper and I wanted to get back to you with some of the feedback that I have. First and foremost, I wanted to tell you that you did a great job getting your paper turned in on time. And I hope that you will make these corrections that I'm suggesting and then resubmit the paper for some additional credit. So I won't go over every correction. Some of them are minimal and don't really need much explanation. So right away, I noticed the first sentence was not actually a complete sentence. I added some words to help you complete this. You can keep these or substitute them for other words, but you can't just put the name and the date. So we have to complete it with lived from or lived in this era or something like that to make it a complete sentence. For your sentence about Florence being interested in the L, I thought that was a little bit vague and was hoping you would do something more specific, like Florence was interested in care of military personnel with battle wounds, or was interested in cleanliness in a hospital, something like that, a little bit more specific than just the ill. Like I said, the next couple things are just minimal corrections that don't really need much explanation. Looking at the second paragraph, I made a correction regarding your APA format. So if we're using APA format, you would just say the author's last, and there's only one author for this, would use his last name and then put the year that the work was published. You don't need to write out the full title. So I did make that correction for you. The other ones are just minimal again in that paragraph. And same with the next paragraph, just minimal corrections just to correct your grammar. So for the topic of the nursing cap, it's a little bit confusing to me. So was this another item that Florence had influenced? I'm not really sure. If you transition the sentence or introduce the topic of the nursing cap, it might alleviate some of the confusion here. So for example, you might say something like, another item that Florence utilized was the nursing cap, and then go into what you're saying about what it's a reminder of. The next sentence has within that same paragraph, has some mix of the present and the past tense, so I just corrected those. I would suggest using more specific terminology to this era as well. So where you said an era where washing the floors was a required nursing skill, I would either say during a specific era, listing the years, or during the century or something like that, rather than kind of using that informal verbiage. Again, for the next paragraph, just be sure you're using proper APA formatting with your in-text citations. Just a couple of other minor grammatical errors there. For the second to last paragraph, I think this paragraph needs to be expanded on a little bit. You're talking about how the leader's work affects the future nursing profession. So if you're talking about technology, I think you need to say how that's used today, or if you're talking about how she influenced education, you need to talk about how technology and education are integrated today. So it just needs to be expanded upon a little bit more, given a little bit more detail in that paragraph. Finally, for the last paragraph, just needs to be moved up a line because there's looks like two lines in between there when there should just be the one space. I would also make sure to include at the end of your paper at least one Catalano reference that you used in this paper. So the Catalano 2011 reference should be cited somewhere. And then if you used any other references, I would just use those, reference those as well. So I think in general, the content in this paper is good. I think you're on the right track, but perhaps just expand the content a little bit more and then work on getting the paragraphs to flow a little bit better together and hopefully you should have a good paper when you're done with that. And again, if you just want to make these corrections and send them back, hopefully we can consider giving a couple of those points back. So good job, and thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.